This morning, a chilling confession brings a close to a child kidnapping case that made national headlines nearly 3 decades ago. Danny Heinrich admitted yesterday to killing 11-year-old Jacob Wetterling in 1989. Jacob's parents learned details about their son's final hours as they watched the confession from the front row of a Minnesota courtroom.
So troubling, this 53-year-old Heinrich also admitted to sexually assaulting another boy months before Jacob's abduction. Jamie Yuccas is at the U.S. courthouse in Minneapolis with the dramatic end to a nearly 27-year investigation. Jamie, good morning.
Good morning, Nora. The prosecution in this case had said from day one that their main goal was to find Jacob Wetterling. On Tuesday, Danny Heinrich confessed to killing the young boy. During that confession, he said that Jacob asked him, "What did I do wrong?" shortly after being kidnapped.
I want to say, Jacob, I'm so sorry. It's incredibly painful to know his last days, last hours, last minutes.
Patty and Jerry Wetterling sat in the front row of a Minneapolis courtroom Tuesday as Danny Heinrich explained how he kidnapped and killed their son. The 53-year-old says he approached Jacob Wetterling and 2 other boys on a remote road in St. Joseph, October 22, 1989. He told the other kids to run away, handcuffed Wetterling, and drove him to nearby Painesville, where he sexually assaulted him. Heinrich says he panicked when a police car drove by, so he loaded his handgun and raised the revolver to Jacob's head. The first shot didn't fire. Heinrich pulled the trigger again, and the boy fell to the ground. Heinrich, who was in jail on child pornography charges, led investigators to Wetterling's remains on Friday as part of a plea deal agreed to by the boy's family.
Bones consistent with a juvenile male, teeth that would eventually be matched to Jacob's dental records, and a T-shirt that said Wetterling.
This was a collage of all the little pictures we had of Jacob.
In a 1992 interview with 48 Hours, Jacob's mom said she used to drive past the spot where Jacob was abducted.
You say a little prayer every time you pass this spot. Usually I yell something like, "Where are you?"
Now, nearly 3 decades later, Jacob's family can finally grieve.
For us, Jacob was alive until we found him. We need to heal. There's a lot of lessons learned, and there's a lot more work to do to protect all of our world's children.
Heinrich's sentencing is scheduled for November the 21st. Jacob's parents and prosecutors were so desperate for answers in this case that they took that murder charge off the table. However, Heinrich will spend 20 years in prison here in the state of Minnesota, which is close to the same of what he would have spent on a murder charge in this state. Gail.
All right, Jamie, those details are so hard to hear. It was heartbreaking. And it physically made me ill because you think about the Wetterling family. When the mom said, "I'd been hoping, we'd been hoping," to hear the final moments of your son's life is just heartbreaking, what the family had to go through.
Yeah, terrible.
But you hold out hope until the bitter end. Thank you, Jamie.